Yo, what's up guys? Before we dive into the video, I have a huge Corsair bundle giveaway to announce for you guys as a way to say thanks for all the support and for making all this possible. My sponsor Corsair and I have teamed up to hook you guys up big time with a sweet Scimitar Pro gaming mouse, a slick K70 10 keyless keyboard, and a super lightweight, ultra comfortable HS80 wireless gaming headset. All these things are peripherals that I use and love myself and would love to hook you guys up with as well. All you got to do is use the link in the description to navigate to the giveaway site. There's a ton of different ways to enter, mostly surrounding, following me on social media, following my sponsor Corsair on social media. Doing those things helps you stay in the loop, helps you support us, and gives you a chance to win an insane gaming bundle. So make sure you hook that up. Make sure you enjoy the video. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck. Hey, what's up guys? Bajheera here, and welcome back to the Bajheera Arena Academy. Once again, the intention for this series is to break down some arena matches that I've played and give you guys an idea of how we can improve together. So, this matchup, we're fighting against a Holy Paladin Shadow Priest Assassination Rogue, so it's going to be a lot of scary goes right into kidney shots like this. So right off the bat, my healer super heads up, incapacitates the rogue, which allows me to survive that. Now, one of the things that you need to watch out for right there is Psy Fiend. If you see a Psy Fiend go down from a Shadow Priest, you need to kill that immediately. It does damage to you, and it reduces healing by 50%. Big shoutouts to Jesse Wayne for powering us up in this game. And big shoutouts to my Arcane Mage Numbing for absolutely destroying the Priest through Blessing of Protection. I can't do any physical damage during that time, but he definitely can pump some arcane damage, and that's exactly what he did. Another insane play by my healer here is able to land the Life Cocoon before the Smoke Bomb comes down, negating another scary situation because the rogue did commit Vendetta to that go. So we survived that. I'm able to land a Triple Fear, which pulls the trinket from the rogue. We're not super worried about that because we're mostly pumping the Shadow Priest, and we've already gotten quite a few cooldowns from the Paladin onto the Shadow Priest. They use Blessing of Protection, they use Blessing of Sacrifice. Look how insane my team is here. So they land a kidney shot on me, but my mage is already sheeping the rogue, which pretty much negates any pressure they've got during that. I'm able to get out of the kidney shot, kill the Psy Fiend, and we're back on the offensive, especially following up with the disarm on the rogue after that. So one thing to keep in mind with rogue compositions, they usually are really built heavily around like setup goes, right? So it's going to be a kidney shot on whatever they want to kill most of the time, with some sort of CC on your healer. So here it's a kidney shot on me and a blind on my monk into a repentance, but my monk is able to trinket the blind before the repentance hits, get out of the way of that. Once again, my mage is sheeping already. This time he was putting the Shadow Priest in CC, so they couldn't follow up with more CC or damage on me. And as soon as we survived that scary situation, my mage is already sheeping the Paladin again. We're able to catch the rogue in a spear and a Stormbolt, which forces the Paladin to bubble. And now we're kind of in this middle position again where the rogue has kidney shot available, and they decide to invest it into my healer here because he doesn't have a trinket after trinketing the blind. I intervene over, my mage is already sheeping, I see the Psy Fiend go down, we both are heads up on it and kill that instantly. And now at this point it's starting to look a little bit interesting for us because we're looking at the situation, and the rogue doesn't have a trinket, the rogue doesn't have evasion, and the rogue does not have Cloak of Shadows, which are kind of all the things that could save him in this situation. So once he gets off of stun DR, we're definitely going to try to make a play on him. My mage is already pumping this rogue, and I go ahead and trinket this to spear him in place. We get his cheat death proc, and a ton of healing comes from the Paladin. An Arcane Mage Burst is enough to kill people through multiple health bars. So I may not have needed to trinket that there, but I feel like if I'm able to lock him down with his spear and contribute my own damage, we're going to finish the game there. So I feel like that was an excellent game showing the sort of ebb and flow of the arena where you're playing offensively when kidney shot is on cooldown, and then when it's off cooldown and available, you're playing a little bit more to peel that go, and then you can go back on the offense after the kidney shot's been invested and after the CC chain has been survived. So this is another game up against a rogue team where it's a similar situation. It's outlaw rogue this time, but they still go off of setups and a demonology lock, which is always scary, dealing like tons of consistent pressure, but has pretty scary goes as well. So I'm able to snag the rogue out of stealth, which is always good. Put him in a stun, which just kind of, limits their opener. He has to retreat to the pillar, and we're going to start to be able to push on this lock. I start blade storming my way over there, which I don't know if I needed to blade storm at him there, just because I was already on stun DR from the pet stun, but we decided to do it anyway. Now he summons his Tyrant. It's already behind the pillar, so it actually made the situation a little bit weird because I was like, do we just run from this? Because usually with Tyrant, a good play as a warrior is just to go ahead and fear the thing. Demonology locks do a lot of damage all the time. They're really annoying. They have lots of different little micro CCs with like the 2 different pet stuns and coil and fears and stuff like that. But their big scary offense is usually just built around Tyrant. So if you can just fear it, it'll take it out of the game for a little while, and then you can kick it or reflect some of its damage and just kill the thing. But that was just kind of an awkward position because I felt like we were like, it was like we should be safe here, right? A bit of an awkward game for those guys too, because I was like weirdly on stun DR for a long time from the opener, and so that kidney shot didn't end up working out too well, and we were able to just push in, and arcane mages do more damage than some people expect, so we kind of just killed him through cooldowns. But I guess one thing to highlight with that game is just how to respond to Tyrant, and usually as a warrior you just go ahead and fear it. Don't worry about kicking the Tyrant cast, let them summon it and then fear it. Another excellent time to use your fear is when a monk has popped all of their images intended to do big damage to you and your team. Just go ahead and fear the images off. It buys you a little bit of time. You'll notice that once the images have come out of fear, they're already over. So that cooldown has been survived, but monks do have 2 charges of that, so heads up. Now in this match, the paladin's just kind of in our face, so we decided to invest some coolies onto him, put him in the spear, and although you're probably not going to usually get a lot of damage out on a paladin during wings, he did use his Blessing of Protection, so that's 1 cooldown out of him. And the thing with Holy Paladins is that they have a lot of really powerful healing and a lot of really powerful cooldowns that can keep their team alive for a while. But once they start to run out of those cooldowns, it begins to be difficult for that paladin to keep his team alive. So, you know, we'll take a bop in the beginning of the game. Against a team like this, it could be a long game. Monks are kind of hard to kill, especially on this map. Boomkins are pretty tanky. So a lot of times you have to sort of chip away at a team like this, do damage where you can, find vulnerable targets, like that monk over there by himself. But this is a scary situation. You always have to watch out for these big Boomkin cooldowns. Boomkins are hitting crazy hard these days. So it's another one of those situations where, like, okay, how do you deal with this? Do you want to run from the Boomkin or try to CC them? I mean, you'll see, like, they got my mage's ice block, like, instantly. I do have spear here, so I'm going to spear the monk and all of his images and try to get the heck away. And that is one thing that you can do as a warrior if you're playing Kyrian, right? We talked about fearing the images. You can also spear the images, and anything that you can do to sort of negate the power of the monk's images is going to be a lot of damage prevented on your team, which in a game like this, again, is pretty important. But since we survived the Boomkin cooldowns and the monk cooldowns, it's our turn once again. We're putting out big pressure on the Boomkin, getting a bop. My arcane mage is able to strip that thing off instantly, but a Boomkin is still really tanky, able to go into bear form. It would have been great to reflect that clone there. The thing about this situation is, like, reflecting a clone just kind of allows him to pause his HP as well. So tanking the clone and trinketing it may have been actually fine, because with an arcane mage, they're all about burst, so allowing the Boomkin to just continue to take that damage is the best thing. So kicking it or bladestorming it is better than reflecting in that situation, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Once again, the monks pops images, spearing them bad boys. They are just stuck in that spear for a little while. It's 8 seconds of CC. We were able to just walk away. The monk gets out, but with only 4 seconds of those images still up, he's not going to be able to do his entire combo. He tries to get the fist out and then into the spinning crane kick, but the images are already gone, so even though my mage takes a lot of damage, it's not that one-shot damage that we had to ice block earlier, so thankfully we survived that go. And you'll see my monk immediately running in to start the go of our own. A leg sweep on the paladin causes the monk to think about kiting, then dives back in. The paladin's already out of leg sweep, so not super scary for them at this point. It's kind of funny because both of our comps are somewhat similar. The monk and the warrior both bring pretty good consistent pressure and some burst, whereas the Boomkin and mage are a lot of CC and then insano burst. So we're both kind of trying to survive each other's goes. I am able to land a nice little double spear here. Not really going to do a whole lot with it, unfortunately. I get cloned on it. My mage doesn't have big cooldowns, so it's just kind of, you know, keeping them still. I do have recklessness coming up soon, so a fear on the paladin there allows us to do a little bit of damage to the Boomkin here. He gets his bark skin bear form combo, which pretty much means he's going to survive a nuclear explosion at that point. The monk pops his images. This time around, I do not have spear. I do not have fear because I used them earlier. We are able to piercing howl the images to slow them down, but they're going to hit me at this point, which procs my low health Kyrian stun, hitting the Boomkin and the monk. A little bit unfortunate that I got cycloned on the life cocoon there, but at least it hit me, and we get a triple stun on these guys. So we're in a bit of a peel mode situation right now. My spear is coming up in 4 seconds though, and I have fear in a minute. So we're going to be able to spear the Boomkin here. Try to keep a little bit of pressure on him, but once again, bear form is very, very powerful on its own. It does pull out the Blessing of Sack because he does start dipping a little bit lower. And at this point, I'm like, Paladin's wings are fading in like 10. He's about half health from the insane amount of damage he was taking from Blessing of Sacrifice. I might start putting some damage into this guy. And like I mentioned before, once Paladins kind of run out of steam, it becomes really tricky for them to heal their team or survive themselves. So we're getting them to 50% HP. Touch of Death takes him out. And once again, that was set up largely in part due to insane single target damage on the Boomkin, where the Paladin decided to Blessing of Sacrifice him to reduce the damage the Boomkin takes at the cost of taking some damage himself. And with wings fading and dampening sort of ramping up slowly, even with that Aegis Trinket up, he's still taking a lot of damage, and it's tough to top himself with no cooldown, so definitely a great way to finish the game there. And a great thing to remember, that when you see Blessing of Sacrifice being used, it means that the Paladin is going to be taking a lot of the damage that his partner would have taken. So it gives you a chance to swap to the Paladin to really make that extra damage there you're dealing shine. And it can be a situation where only one of you swaps, right? Like my Arcane Mage kept pumping damage into the Boomkin, which is effectively dealing damage to the Paladin. Then I was able to just deal damage to the Paladin myself. So it worked out pretty well that way. Now this is an interesting game right here because we're fighting against a Ret Paladin, BM Hunter, Disc Priest, which is a pretty scary composition. Can do a ton of damage, has really consistent CC with the Hunter Traps and the Hodges from the Paladin, and of course fears out of those Hunter Trap combos from the Priest. So a lot of damage, a lot of CC, relatively resilient because Priest healing is pretty strong right now. So it's a good combo. It's got everything you want. One thing you might want to look out for against Hunter teams like this is how you use your defensive cooldowns and how you use your CC. Some examples of this you'll notice in this game are I use Enraged Regen when the Ret Paladin popped wings. That allows me to heal back some of the insane damage that I was taking. You'll notice that I used my Fear as soon as that Hunter Trap landed to try to fear the Ret Paladin off me, because again, Ret Paladin wings are insane, and you definitely need to respect those. This is also kind of a cheeky game where we did catch the Hunter a little bit by surprise with our arcane damage. But the main thing to learn in that kind of game right there is use defensives to counteract their offensive cooldowns, and maybe try to use your CC to counteract their CC. And hopefully, if you survive enough goes, you get the dub. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the love. We'll see you guys next time. Bajheera's Arena Academy. Peace.